Hey all, it's Rightplan here from NovaGamer, and as you can see, we are back with the Shroud of the Avatar Forsaken Virtues. This is the pre-alpha release. This is number 7, so once again, this is not even in the beta testing, so there is going to be some problems that you'll see throughout the testing here, but once again, it's not even in the beta phase yet. Once you go to log in, you'll see that now they're talking about being partially optimized and performance will be inconsistent. The reason being that for this release, they have officially introduced the 64-bit version. So it makes it so that 64-bit computers will actually run this at a better quality than they did before because they were capping out at 32. So this is just giving you guys an idea of the different changes that we deal with every single time we go to log in for a pre-alpha release. So there obviously is going to be some issues when we first log in, but we'll see all the new changes they made. So let me just log in here and we'll be right back with the new character customizations. Character customization. Now we've shown this to you before. Now the reason why we're showing you this again is because they've made some new changes to it for this release. So once again, I put my name in. We got the old green check mark. Select your gender, and then you can also change your character size, so your height and all that. So we had that before, but just showing for those who haven't seen the previous videos. And once again, if you haven't checked out the previous videos or you want to see the progress of the game, you can go back and check out our other Shroud of the Avatar videos. We have all of them from release 1 all the way up to release 6. This is obviously release 7. And you can see the progress that it's been making from the first video to what it's becoming now. So basically you pick all that, you click next, and now as before you can still change your skin tone, your eye color, your head type, but right now they've only put one head type there. There is different head types, but the reason why they removed them is because they want to test the new feature, which I'll show you, so it's a lot easier to test something with just one head type instead of trying to get people to do it with all. And you can change your nose size, so let's go with the biggest nose possible. And then click next. This once again is still something we've seen before, so we'll just go with the white, we'll go with dreads, and we'll go with no facial hair this time. This is everything that's new. So you'll see here now you can add eye height, eye spacing, eye size, the eye size width and height, sorry, and then your eye tilt. So the way this works is I'll show you each one just briefly here. So as you can see, with your eye height, it'll either go higher on your head or lower on your head. Pretty straightforward. Eye spacing, you can add the spacing between your nose and your eyes to crazy wide to insanely narrow. So we'll keep it right in the middle. And then you have eye size, so your height, you can make your eyes wider or you can make them really squinty. And then your eye width obviously is just going to make how wide your eyes go based on what you do. So there's that's just some of the customizations that they're going to be adding in there, and then obviously once you get the eye tilt in there, that tilts it straight up or straight down. So we'll keep that kind of at the end. That keeps it with no tilt. And that's something new that they've added in. I believe that's the last one. Oh no, sorry. There's also your eye inset bulge, so you can make it really bulge out or have a huge skin bulge instead of the eye bulge. But if you put it right in the middle, it's kind of average. And then your eyebrows, they didn't have this before either, so you can basically make really thin or really thick eyebrows. It doesn't look like it changes much, but if I go really fast from one side to the other, you'll see the difference. So there's really thin and there's fat. So it's not a huge change, but it's a little change. So they've added that in. I believe that's the last change, yeah. So every release, well not every release, it used to be every one, but then for the last 2 or 3 they've been focusing more on the graphics and the combat, so they didn't really touch on this too much, but now they're getting back into it again, and they're slowly going to make it so you can start customizing everything. So it's going to be really customizable for creating your character by the time this is all done. So now that we're done, I'm just going to create this character. We'll log into the game there, and then we'll be right back with the other changes. And we are loaded into, as you'll see here, we right now are in Owl's Head. That's where normally when you first log in when we start these. You'll see all the characters around here now say merchant. We're not going to get too far into it because we've had people saying in the past that they prefer to have one video where we show everything really quickly. So I'm just going to quickly say this one's going to have all the changes built into it. We're going to try to transition from one to the other, and we're going to try to give you all the information in one video. If you guys prefer us to go back to the old way and make a video for each major change, then we'll do that as well. So just let us know in the comments below, and I'll mention this one more time at the end of the video. But in this case, you'll see that everybody's name is saying merchant. If you go up and you start talking to them and you have a conversation with them and you ask them their name, you'll then get their name above their head instead of merchant. This gives you more of a personal way of finding them, and that way, for future questing purposes and everything, it also gives you the ability that you can't just run around town, find exactly who you need, run up to them, talk to them, and run off. You'd have to actually talk to everybody in the town, learn who they are, and then find out your quest from there. So this will give us a better idea of how detailed they're going to make it into the questing and more realistic. So that's one of the big changes they're doing. Another thing that they're doing is they've added trading in now. You can now trade between characters in the game, so I can trade to another player. And as well, you'll be able to summon people to you. So if you are in a party, you can summon a player on your friends list to you, or you can summon your whole party group to you. So these are some of the changes that they're going to be adding in the future. But right now, let's take a look at the new mini-map. So we'll just head out of town here, and I'll show you what that's all like. You'll see that the new mini-map is actually quite different than it was in the release 1 through 6. They're more of a 2D version, but this is, if you watch the backer videos, this is kind of the idea of where they wanted this game to be going. Now, obviously, this is the first release that has this design, so there is kind of a few flaws. There's some hexagons that we normally are supposed to have on the ground to show each location you can sort of zoom into. They aren't added in yet, and your character, who's going to be walking around and stuff, hasn't been added. It's just a shield. But you still are able to move, as you see, and you're able to go around to all these different locations. They have, I'll show you here, they have added in better designs for what caves look like, for what the towns look like. They are going to be adding in better roads and paths and stuff like that soon. And down here, you'll see that larger towns have 2 circles on them now, where before they only had 1. They've added in a couple extra trees, some 3D animation to, not animation, but 3D leveling to the ground, where you can actually see hills and mountains very clearly now. Another thing that they've done is added in a couple islands out on the water that they can add future things to. They've made a great detailing in the water that wasn't there before. Before it was just this 2D version of water. And these are all the things that they've been able to add in with the new 64-bit version. And as you come down, you'll see that they've added the bottom of the map now, so you can't really get any farther down than this. This is the bottom of the map. So if anybody wanted to see how big the map is now, you have one little town down here, but other than that, it kind of has a half-moon effect here, and this is all the new map. So if you guys wanted to see how much it's progressing, this is kind of the new layout. So what we'll do is we'll take a trip down to Kingsport, which for those of you who don't know is right down here. So this is Kingsport, and they have given us the ability to go to new towns and everything. So we'll go down there, we'll take a look at it. And actually, you know what, at first, before we go to that one, we'll finish the new change they made to Owl's Head. So let's go back into Owl's Head, and we'll show you the changes that they made there. See that I've kind of come to here. This isn't where one of the new changes are, but I wanted to show you guys something really quick, because the new change does involve some fighting. If you look here, you'll see that we're up in the city part of the town. We're up in the city part of Owl's Head, and this is kind of like a little market square. If you log in as a single player and you're having problems getting weapons and everything, one thing you can do as a single player is you can come in here. Now you can do this on multiplayer, but it's a lot easier to do this on single player. You'll see that there is actually weapons on the tables and everything that you can grab. So you can just grab them like this, open up your character frame, and you can put them in. And obviously just put your mouse over them to make sure that they're ones that you want to equip instead of what you had. So the battle spear I had was 13 damage, where this one here is 20 damage. So I'll be using that one. And then later on we'll talk about getting the changes of the skills and stuff when we get to the new location, because it's going to have a lot of fighting. But there's tons of weapons here that you can choose from if you load in as single player. And then after you get a bunch of gold, this guy actually sells the augmented armor. So what we'll do is we'll take you to the new place, and we'll do a little bit of fighting. I might die though, because I'm going to try to skip the armor this time, just so we can give you guys a better idea of what it's like, because I've always had max armor, so this way I'll give you guys a better idea of what it's like to try to do combat when you first start the game, instead of seeing somebody doing combat with full armor on. And that way you can kind of see how difficult the monsters are. So we'll head down to the Moon Gate, and we'll continue our travels from there. You can see when we get to the moon gate now, before you used to be able to just go to the other town, but now if you put your mouse over it, it actually goes to graph gem mines. So if you just double click on that, it'll start warping you to the gem mines, as you can see. This is going to be one of the first major areas that are going to be in the storyline when the game is actually either in its beta and then obviously when it's fully released. So this is where they're going to try to start going with the great storylines that Lord British normally has in most of his games. And as you see, I got my skills all set up down here. The skills are pretty much the same as they are from the other combat videos that we've shown you before, and if you want to see those again, you can go back and check those out. The only thing I'll tell you that has really majorly changed is that when you go into them now, before you have to pick them out, and then you have to go to a separate section and drag the skills down. Now you can actually click and drag directly from here and put them down into your toolbar, so you don't have to put the points in here and then go to your separate list and drag them down. You can do it all at once now, so they've made that change for those of you who are wondering. Now I might die because there's a new type of monster in these gem mines, and I don't know how much damage they do, and I have not gotten any armor. I got a good weapon, I don't know about the armor yet. So that's why I added this skill in here that increases my defense for the next enemy attack, so that'll help me not die as fast. But as you can see, I'm taking more damage than most of the videos you've seen, and I'm actually having to heal already. So I'm probably going to die here. As you can see, they put a lot more motion into the swings and everything now. And they're actually, it's a little bit of a more fluid. As you saw, I did the jump there when I attacked. So the combat is still the same as it was before. If you guys want to see the actual combat skills, you can go back and check that out. But they have added in more motions, as you saw with the jump when I did the hit there. Before, you used to just stand still and hit. But they've actually started adding in more of the attacks. So once I come back to life here, we'll show you more of this mine really quick. We are now down here alive again. I had to make a run for it, and we're attacking another creature. These ones are a little easier to kill, so we can show you some of the new skills. So if they don't have anything in their body, it's a new thing they added that's better targeting now, is if there's nothing on the body, it doesn't allow you to loot it. It just decays like you just saw. So we'll attack one here, and I'll show you those new moves a lot better. I just saw another one around here somewhere. Go down deeper. And we're back to the Kobo fighters again. So I'm probably going to die again, but we'll give this guy another shot. But as you can see, when I do this attack, so that's my defense one, and when I hit him now, I'll actually swing in the air, and that actually knocks them back, and he's not swinging at me now, where before that wasn't working properly. So you'll see that if I can get it out one more time before I die, when I do the swing, he'll actually fall back and he'll miss his... Oh, I missed that time. And here we go. And I'm dead. But as you saw, he actually gets knocked back when it actually is successful now, and he falls to the ground, and he misses that first attack. So they've actually started adding the animation, and as you can see, the attack is actually a lot more fluid now than it was before. So once again, we'll try to resurrect. You can see how much harder this game is when you don't go out like I normally do and get the best armor and then try to come down. So I wanted to give you guys this view of the combat so you can see what it's like when you're actually coming down here, and to see like you wouldn't attack this cave until you started getting better armor. But anyways, we will pop back up here. I'll make another run for it, and then we'll see farther in the dungeon. And a lot of running, I realized if I want to show you everything in this place successfully, I'm gonna have to actually be able to kill things. So I went back, got us the augmented armor, and now we'll actually do some killing. Hopefully now we can kill them. This is my first attempt. So you can see I got my shield now. I haven't changed that skill, so I'll change that real quick here in a sec. As you can see, it still hit me hard, but not as hard. I can actually take some of the damage now. But I am missing one of my major skills I need with the shield. Maybe I should put on my axe until I get my shield. Where did that axe go? Oh, there it is. So I'll heal up here. Heal off. So the first one's my bash. As you'll see, it does a good bit of damage. And the second one's a knockback. So as you can see, it actually knocks him back now, and he has to run back up to me before he can swing again. That gives you a chance to get off a heal or some kind of defensive stance. And oh no, I might die now. If I live through this, it'll be amazing. No, and it's stuck in a don't do damage bug. Step back a couple steps here and see if it helps. Yeah, there we go. Now he's taking damage. So do a little bit of pacing here so he can't hit me as much. Oh, I might win. I might win. So as you can see, even with augmented armor, you still need... It's not like you can just run and pull the whole room and then run away. And they have made it so that every time you try to do one of your special hits, it doesn't work every time. It adds, once again, some more realism to the game. And all their hits don't hit you all the time. Like, he just hit me there, as you heard, but it didn't do any damage. Oh, and he wins! As you see, the looting's way easier now. They pop up like that. You just take them. And it highlights the body that you're actually looting now, where before it just popped up the loot window, but you couldn't actually see what you were looting. And I'll change that skill real quick and switch back to... So I don't need that light armor skill anymore. And this is how fast you can switch skills now. So you go to shield, and I want to... Quick shield attack with a chance to stun. No, I want this one, the one that increases my shield value. And you just drag it down. So it's a lot easier now. You can almost do it on the fly. So I'll put my weapon and my shield back on. One thing I didn't show you guys last video is if you want to put something on. I thought I had a different hammer than just the cobalt one, but obviously not. So all you do is you can do shift or control just like anything else, and you pick the things you want, and you can just drag them both over. And as you see, it equips both of them. It'll also automatically highlight the things that it took off in case you want to put them all back on again. So I found out that there's these little pulleys here for each of these minecarts. Now some of them do nothing, as you see here, but when we get farther down in the bottom of here, you'll see one that actually does work. And some of these minecarts have stuff you can mine in them. So what we'll do is we'll travel down to the bottom so you don't have to see all that again. We'll get down to the very bottom of this, which is just a whole bunch of caves, and I'll show you what's at the bottom. Alright, we're getting closer to the bottom. You'll see that now we got some more caverns here. I got a lot of monsters on me, as you can see. They got running water through the caverns now, and there's these big satire monsters, which are new. I'm gonna die if I stay here, so I gotta run away. Oh my god. Alright, run away. Maybe we can attack one of those satire ones later on down here. They did still add it so that if you run far enough away, the monsters will stop chasing you. Eventually. Yeah, there. So now we're down to one monster, and the other one's gone. So we're safe again. So we're getting pretty close to the bottom here. Is this one doing anything? No. No. So I think it's right. Oh, we're getting very... Here it is. This is the room I was looking for. This is where I died last time and decided I needed more armor. So we'll kill this guy. So you can see, once I use this new shield block skill, I'm hardly taking any damage now. So if you're going to go with one-handed weapons, you definitely want this skill to deflect. You don't do as much damage with your one-handed weapon as you do with your two-handed, obviously, but you can take a much bigger beating. The knockback normally would work. He's against this pole here, so he's not knocking back anymore. So we're almost to the end of the cave here, so I will show you what's around here. And there's a new thing they've added. I just gotta kill this guy. So it's another satire mage. So last we saw was a satire warrior. is good, but they take extra damage because I would definitely die if I had to keep beating on them. Heavier hitting weapon. Right on the fly like this. Because obviously the shield's doing nothing against magic. And I'm gonna die. Ah! And we'll be right back after these resurrections. I'm both dead. We finally got into the clear room, as you can see, and this is something new they've added. So you got these gems on the wall that you can actually mine now. You can't double click on them, but one thing you can do is if you have your toolbar set up, you can just hover over it and click the harvest button. You'll actually harvest the gems now, and as you can see, you can get emerald gems, and they do sell for quite a bit for something that takes that quick to harvest. These only can be harvest once that I've seen so far, but there's many different kinds. As you can see, you had the emerald one back there, and then now we got some garnet gem and orange crystal fragment. But as you can see, they can only be harvested once, but there are ones up on the ceiling, so it's not just the floor ones. Now, the ceiling ones are a little harder to harvest because you have to make sure you're in just the right location to harvest them. Like so. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of different types of fragments and shards, and they're probably going to have a huge different type of crafting that can go along with that. For instance, gem encrusting weapons and everything. The last thing I wanted to show you about this mine, and then we'll move on to the next add-on to the release 7, is when you run to the very end of the mine, right here, kill a satire fighter. As you can see, they're starting to put a lot of detail into the actual creatures you're fighting now. And I'm going to have another satire attack me. Nope, you made a run for it. So far I found the two-handed axe is working a lot better than the one-handed and the shield. But you can see the combat is way smoother than it was in Release 6. And there's a lot of more animation added to things. So, now that I'm dead again, I'll wait till I resurrect and then we'll see what this cart does. So I won't fast forward this part here, but I will let you guys know that next we're going to head to Kingsport. I'm just going to skip the mini-map. We're going to go straight to Kingsport, and you guys can see the quick change that they made there. They still have us set on a 45-second resurrection timer, and then it just reses me on the spot. But you do have the heal spell where you can resurrect people, because I think when the game actually is released, you're going to have either ability as a ghost to run around, or you're going to have to wait for somebody to resurrect you. Or it might teleport you to town after a certain amount of time. But now that I'm rezzed, you run right here, you can double click on this, and it'll send you right back to the entrance. So they gave you a quick way out so you don't have to run back through everything if you've completely run out of all ability to heal and take care of yourself while you're in there. But now that we're heading back to Owl's Head, we will continue after this, and I'll meet you guys back in Kingsport. Kingsport, and as you can see, they've added in these ferries. There's one there, one here, and there's one farther down the other way. We'll show you each three. They take you out off of Kingsport into the new areas here where we can actually try some houses. So I'll take you to the first one, and the first one we're going to go to is Port Mirin. So let's take our trip. Mirin, you'll see it's basically a little island town. They've added in a whole bunch of extra stuff for us here. I'll just quickly show you here. So there's basically room for castles here. This is basically going to be a player-run town island. You have a castle lot up there. There's lots of water lots like those two over there. And then there's lots of hills around where you can build your house up on the mountain if you want. You can build it down there on the water if you want. And what we're going to do is we'll show you, I'll take a look at all the water lots here. We'll find one that we can show you the different water lots that are available. Because right now, even though we're playing in single player mode right now, it still saves stuff by the multiplayer, as you can see. So I won't be able to use that one because it's already been claimed. But as you can see, there is a wicked layout to the scenery here. They really try to make it look like an island, and this might be a house that's unclaimed. No, it's claimed. But they've added tons of hills, trees, palm trees, water all through this whole town, tons of water lots. So you can see that the towns we showed you before aren't the only ones that they're going to have available. They're actually going to make a whole whack of different type of designs of different locations you can go to, and this is pretty much just a huge area where they could add in monsters throughout the town if they wanted to, and have them attack here and have everybody that lives here have to defend it. So all in all, they have a awesome layout on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up to the very top of the hill there and give you guys a view of the whole area. Pretty much the highest point. That point over there is a little higher, but this gives you an idea of the whole layout. You can see that there's even going to be tower lots on the water where they're going to have little tiny islands you can put a tower on. And then there's hillsides. Oh, I went the wrong direction there. There's hillsides everywhere where you can put in all kinds of different towns and villages, and pretty much you could change these so that everybody who plays these areas could all set up something different. They're also making ones like this where the players themselves can purchase a whole town and rent the lots out to people. So in the future, there's a possibility that you could even own something like this. And right now, they actually have stuff in the store where you can purchase actual town lots, and you can own a whole town, and people would have to rent from you. So that's something that they're going to add in the future. So we'll just go back down there to the entrance, and where that boat is, I believe. Yeah, where the boat is over there. And then we'll go back to Kingsport and show you the next location. In Kingsport, we previously were on that ferry over there. So now I just came here to show you really quick that this is the next ferry we're going to be taking, which is to the Brave Coast. So let's take a look at the Brave Coast. As you can see, the Brave Coast is a lot like, I mean, it took us a little bit to wander around and take a look at it all because it's nighttime now. But you'll see that it's pretty much the same as the other place. And the next one's probably going to be the same as well. So we'll go back and show you that last ferry. We'll travel there, and then we'll show you the last couple of new houses that have been built. And that'll give you guys an idea of how housing has been progressing. So as you can see, there's basically all three are going to be islands, and they're going to be new places for players to put their towers and other homes that they buy. And once again, you can now take a look at the water lots, or you can have more castle lots here. So to answer the question about the size of the lots here, they go anything from the smallest ones, such as those ones, all the way up to the castle. So they're definitely going to have room for everybody on these islands, as long as you get there before everybody else. But let's head to the next boat. The boat we just got back from is that one there. Oh, sorry, no, never mind. We already rode that one. And this was the second one we took right here. And the third one is right out there on the far dock. So we'll just run out there real quick. And we will travel to Esther Cove. So away we go. The water lots seem to be taken up. So what we're going to be doing now is, if you look there, we'll just quickly go over the different kinds you can have. There's all these boats we have previously been on, so if you haven't been on either of those two in the distance there, you can easily go check on our actual other videos of housing, and you'll see that we've been on those boats before. Those are some of the ones that you can have in your water lot. Obviously, they're not usable on land lots. They're also going to have you to have the ability to have the actual lighthouse ones, which we've gone through the lighthouse before as well, and other boathouses such as these ones, which we have also gone through. There is a couple of new land designs we haven't gone through, so now that we've seen all three islands and the possibilities of water lots, we'll go back and we'll get ourselves a land lot there, and I'll show you the quick new designs that they have, and then we'll wrap things up. So we'll see you back at Kingsport. Here with the new house I wanted to show you guys. So it took us some time to find a place we could place it, but here you go. This is the 4-story, and this one is basically your townhouse. There's going to be 4, 3, and 2-story ones, plus you can put basements in them. These are going to be really great for having inside. Now we have thrown up a bunch of decorations and everything, trying to get it all sort of showing for you. So when you walk in at the bottom here, you pretty much just have this room and one more room in here when you first come in. They're not large floors, but then when you go up to the second floor, you have another room like so, and then up here is another room just like the one below. So it's kind of a repeat all the way up, but you do have windows so you can see up every floor. Missed the steps. Missed the steps. There we go. Now, there we go. And then when you get to the top floor, it's the same thing. You've got 2 big windows here, and then this particular model has a small little deck you can walk out onto and be up really high. So this, once again, is only one version of it. They do come in the 4, 3, and 2-story. You're going to be able to add basements into them, and for right now, that's why we wanted to end with this house on this videos. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. Right now they are offering that house in the 2-story with a lot and everything for the town. So if you guys want to see that, you can go on their add-on store or their pledge store and get into the game. But anyways, that's it for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and once again, if you guys wanted us to make a bunch of videos for all the changes instead of these quick ones with everything in it all at once, then just let us know in the comments below. But if you guys prefer these quick videos where we add every change into one video and give a quick explanation of everything, then we will continue doing these ones if you prefer them. So just let us know in the comments below. Subscribe above to see the next Shroud of the Avatar when they come out, and as always, happy gaming.